Again, McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Final hour of the show, 9 a.m. Wednesday, December 10th, right here on Jocks. He joins us each and every week, usually on Thursdays, moving it up a little bit to Wednesday this week because Taylor Hicks in studio at 9 o'clock tomorrow. It's the coach, Wimp Sanderson.
He must be going to play on his harp or something tomorrow.
Definitely harp.
Is he?
Bringing that in.
Yeah.
He probably got a flute as well. Bringing him.
Oh yeah, I know Taylor will play golf with him. Yeah, I got it. All right, Greg, you there?
Yeah.
All right, both of you listen to this. My whole show is listening to this. My whole show, and I said to it's the people that surround the court. My whole show are saying that coaches are very hesitant. I won't call in both of y'all in on this. Are very hesitant to substitute for quarterbacks. That you will substitute for a pitcher that's not pitching well. You'll substitute for a point guard who's not playing well. But you have very hesitant to do that. I said the reason that Alabama struggles, people around him that weren't playing very good. They don't like that. They want to hear you guys tell me. I said I think it could be because they screw the guy up mentally if they do that too much. If every time he's having a bad game or whatever, they screw him up mentally. I want you guys to go in and tell me, because they're all listening, and y'all football guys, and I'm just a little goober that comes on every now and then. Why coaches are hesitant to change quarterbacks during the season, game after game, and so forth, please?
Because it's the most important position. It's also the most fragile position when it comes to affecting everybody else in the locker room. Nobody cares if the left guard gets subbed out.
Okay, good.
And anybody that's on your show that's suggesting Alabama makes a quarterback change has no idea what they're talking about, for the record.
So I agree.
So, nobody, it's might be the dumbest argument I've heard in the last several weeks. Have you seen Austin Mack and or Keelan Russell in a live game with real bullets flying this year?
Yes.
Against quality competition?
Saw with my own eyes.
Do you think it's smart? How did remind me of this just quickly, Coach? Arch Manning, God's gift to football coming into the season, correct?
Right.
How do you fare against Ohio State that first week?
Struggle.
How did Bryce Underwood, God's gift to football, right? The Michigan quarterback? God's gift to football, clearly can do no wrong. Best, highest ranked recruit ever in the history of recruits. How'd he do this season in general? Did he do well?
Yeah.
Good watch?
Yeah.
Compelling, passing offense?
Cast wasn't good enough.
Yeah. Just saying, you don't throw a guy out to the wolves unless you have absolutely nothing to lose. And people will say, well, Tua, okay, you keep Jalen. You keep Jalen in the game. Bama loses that game by 2 extra touchdowns because Jalen couldn't do anything that night. And guess what? You lose the game. Who cares? You lose the game. They had nothing to lose. It took Nick Saban 14 and a half games to decide to make a move. They were already as far as they can go. They didn't put him in. When Jalen was terrible against Clemson, they didn't put him in then. They had nothing to lose. They had nothing to lose. So they might as well, hey, guys, we got to go now. This is as far as we can go. Throw caution to the wind, throw 4 vertical over and over and over again. Let's call it a day. And it worked out for him. But, how many other times in college football history have we seen that work? Ever?
Not many.
Not many.
Hey, Coach, I'm just interested in your opinion on Notre Dame deciding not to compete in a bowl game.
Well, it's sort of like the NIT and the NCAA. The
Yeah.
NIT in basketball is a drop down from the NCAA, and everybody's pissed. The players are mad. The players' daddies are mad. We should be in the NCAA tournament. We're in the cotton picking NIT. And it's the same principle, exactly the same principle with football. It's a good analogy.
Yeah,
I think.
it really is.
You were in a situation where you were going to play for the national championship. Now you're in a situation that nobody cares. Nobody's going. Nobody's interested. The mothers and daddies of the players are going. That's it. I got to play when I could take my girlfriend down, so and so. A little bit like when I coached in the SEC tournament. It was spring break, and these guys wanted to go down with their girlfriends to Florida. I practiced them twice a day. I worked their butts off, and told them how important it was. We did well, but I think the NCAA NIT example is like that, and they don't want to play because they're not in the 12. The Notre Dame guy gets on there, and if you're going to get on there and be disappointed, which what you should be, but you don't get on there. You don't get on there and be disappointed, and then look at the schedule that they played and the people they beat. You don't do that because you don't have any kind of argument at all whatsoever. You just don't. Now, the committee made one mistake. They put Notre Dame ahead of Miami 1 week, and then the next week they put Notre Dame behind Miami without anybody playing. Even the Notre Dame athletic director wanted to say something about head-to-head competition. Crap. Head-to-head competition is the most important, most impelling thing you have. You know, if you want to argue about something, I don't care what the situation is. When head-to-head competition is over and one team beats the other one, and they're in a fight for the top final 12, that team that won that game is going to get in. So that's the way it is. But now Sark has come out and said he's not sure his guys want to play in a bowl game, and so you know if they don't want to play, you don't want to play. I think Auburn had a good reason not to play. I think they try to get their staff together themselves. I don't blame them, but I think these other teams, you know, if your guys are not going to be willing to go out there and play and put it on the line, you get beat 45-3, then you got more troubles about your recruiting. But that answers that question for me.
I mean, did you have a hard time getting your guys to want to compete, to just play? It's amazing to me how we completely lose sight of the fact of some people might like playing games.
Yeah, it's time. There were times when I was worried about it at times because of the SEC tournament. That's the automatic qualifier to the NCAA tournament. We got the final game 9 out of 12 years I had that job. I'll brag about that. But you know, we try to emphasize the importance of it, what it meant to us. Now, when you get to along those same lines, when you get to two teams for the championship of the SEC tournament in football, excuse me, not tournament, but SEC in football, I think the rule should be put in that if you're in the final two, they're automatics. I don't care if you can be 73 to nothing. They're automatics. If you get in the final two.
Well, you talk about people complaining about why to play a game, Coach. They're going to come out of the woodwork on that one.
Yeah. Well, I just think that you have a big argument as to why they should be there, all those kinds of things. I think you just go ahead and say that we're going, and I think you tell the public that if the two teams get into a playoff, those two teams go. Now you may turn it another way. The criticism they're giving me, you're saying, you may want to say the two teams that get into the finals of the SEC tournament, SEC football deal, the loser does not go. They can do that, and the loser in that game gets beat 6-3. What about that?
I mean, they're all interesting thoughts. Coach, on just kind of how it would look, where it could go, what it might be like.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting because we're entering a time that a lot of people don't like in college sports right now. And
well, they don't like second place, and they think that playing in the bowl games, and Nick Saban said it a long time ago. But I'm afraid it's going to affect the bowls, and it has, and it affects the people that follow. I'll tell you something else. While we just run around here trying to figure out something to say before we get that harmonica player on tomorrow.
Harp.
What was I going to tell you? Yeah, well, not Harp. He played. What was I? Doggone, I had good.
The thing about the bowls is like, and I understand if people aren't as into them as they once were. I get it. But the problem is people watch them first and foremost, so they rate extremely well. And what people don't realize when you look at the bowls is the good it does in the community. Like the amount of money it provides that community, the amount of money it provides that
or charity.
That charity that it supports, and the tourism in that community. And I think there's a trickle down here that comes down to the economics of hosting a bowl game that is really valuable. So there's a little more to it. For me,
that's right.
Like my last bowl game after playing in the Rose Bowl in a national championship was the Citrus Bowl there at the beginning of 2011 season, last game. Yeah. And we all played. Julio, Mark, everybody played. Everybody that could play played. And finished our career the way we wanted to finish our career. It was great. It was amazing. A lot of guys, that was their last game. And what I think was lost in that was the experience that we had that whole week together, practicing for the last few times, the fun that we had practicing the last few times, going to Disney World together, the whole team, riding rides together, the whole team, everybody. And I feel like it's gotten so professionalized that the experience that you get going to a bowl game is so unique and so much fun. I went to Shreveport twice, had a blast both times. And it was, I just hope that there's not regret down the road, because I think there probably will be, whether they want to acknowledge it or not.
Yeah, they don't. People don't think about the charities that they give.
The Children's Hospital that we went to every day, 3 straight days. Children's Hospital.
Well, I've got 3 sons. I ain't got a lot of money, not like the football coaches, but I've already told them, I already fixed it for my will. It's cut 4 ways. It's cut for 3 sons, and the at St. Jude in Memphis, they get just as much as Jim Scott and Barry get. I've already fixed it for those, because I look at those kids bald headed and great day. It's horrible. So whatever little bit that I can do, and if people can do that, I'm just guarantee you St. Jude appreciates it. So anyway, I'm happy to be on y'all's show. Y'all are great, and I just think that we got people that don't understand. They're thinking a quarterback is supposed to play perfect. The other team is good too. Yeah, they're good too. They got pass rush. I'm a little bit surprised, and I'll throw this out because I know you want me off. I am surprised that Alabama is the favorite at Oklahoma. There's not a big buzz about the game. To me, that doesn't mean right. I know that doesn't mean one thing. A big buzz. It just I don't. Oklahoma will be stomping and ready to go, and just one slot, 8 and 9. It just so happens that 8 gets the home team, gets the home game. Now I'm a home game guy because I'm a basketball coach, and we win more games at home than you do in football. But I don't know. There's a buzz about it, and if it's not a buzz there, it may not be a buzz of those kids. I may be dead wrong. I don't know.
It's the playoff, Coach. There's a buzz. We're just a week away from it. Don't worry. Plenty of buzz.
Okay, well, that's good. Well, anyway, I tried to tell them on our show that you have said. Now, I didn't want to quote you without that. When the coaching changes and things are going, that the players are good, but the recruiting probably has not been as good at Alabama as it normally was during the period of time. I don't know if that's right or wrong. I mean, you get a guy hurt, like the running back was at Alabama against Georgia, you're hurt, and maybe I don't know whether the players are good, bad, or another, but they're good enough to win with if you know.
They're great. They just
games,
there's not 27 first-round picks. They're great, really good players.
That's what you said.
Excellent.
Yeah.
It's just it's a different caliber of player, and the depth is different. And the recruiting, I think the personnel on the roster is not what people's expect. You can look at the roster, and I think that people look at the recruiting rankings when in reality the recruiting rankings are very misleading, first and foremost. Secondly, secondly, I think that there's a lot of really good players, but you don't have 7 first-round defensive tackles, and it's by Alabama's standard. It's not by the standards of Boise State. It's by the Alabama standard, and the expectation at this place is to win every game by 30 points. Well, you could back in the day because your third-string players were better than most teams that you played. They were just a little young. So I think that it's a little different now. And I think if you look at the way recruiting was used against Coach Saban and his age that was used against him, and I think a little bit of a reluctance to go and pay players because you still are emphasizing culture, and you don't want to pay a pass rusher because you've always had one. Like I think there's some things that there are some things that have made it more difficult to look at the roster and think that it's on the same level as some of the teams that sit at 2, 3, 4 in the country right now. Like there's more first rounders on Texas Tech's roster than there are in Alabama's. Think about that. That's wild, right? That's insane.
Yeah.
But that's where things are right now. It doesn't mean it can't be overcome. It just might take a couple of years to get things where they need to go from a personnel standpoint, from a depth standpoint, from a roster development standpoint, all of those stuff.
Well, I think before Cole runs me off, I would say at Auburn, it was evaluation. You probably, I get a boy that used to be a man used to be at Auburn with Pat. That evaluation, they had a guy there better than the guy they got. Maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but then once you pay to get a guy, you almost have to really look at him really hard because maybe you made a mistake in evaluation. Evaluation is darn important. The other factor too is, they may be hunky dory with you when you're recruiting them, but when you get them on the field or into a basketball court, you nail them. They ain't as hunky dory. They mentally are not quite as good as you thought they were physically. That's big. Anyway, Coca-Cola and Golden Flakes. Coca-Cola and Golden Flakes, what Coach Bryant used to do. Coca-Cola is a great product, and if you go in Piggly Wiggly and visit with them, you'll get vegetables, you'll get meat, you'll get everything that you need. Piggly Wiggly are great people. I've been dealing with them. Took them on my show with my team and sat on the bench with a couple of them. So they sat on the bench with us. Anyway, I appreciate you guys, and I'll talk to you next week. Everybody turns in tomorrow at 9 o'clock to hear me. We'll get to hear some harp music. Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
Why is it my fault for hanging up the phone every time you come on? I don't make all these decisions.
Y'all are great. You're great.
It's your fault, dude.
Good.
All right.
Been your fault.
Well, we appreciate you hanging out with us each and every week, Coach.
Y'all are good. I can't talk very well today. I got bad throat. Y'all don't really care. There ain't nobody listening to me anyway. Talk to y'all later.
Thank you. That's the coach, Wimp Sanderson, joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. He's with us each and every week. Thanks to our friends at Coke and Piggly Wiggly. College athletics administrators may need to be quiet. We'll tell you why. Or actually, you know what? We'll let you hear why next on Jocks. Before we move into the administration of college athletics and maybe where they're going wrong, I'll tell you about Andrews Sports Medicine right here, 9/23, Wednesday, December 10th on Jocks. There's a reason Auburn Athletics hand-selected Andrews Sports Medicine's Dr. Benton Emblem and Charles Pitts to serve as their team physicians. They provide the highest quality sports medicine care in an effort to keep the Tiger student-athletes safe, healthy, and competing at the highest level. If Andrews Sports Medicine is the choice for Auburn Athletics, there's no doubt they should be your family's number one choice for sports medicine and orthopedic care. Andrews Sports Medicine, 7 locations across Central Alabama, Birmingham, Coleman, Gardendale, Hoover, Pelham, Trussville, offering same-day, next-day appointments for acute sports injuries. Visit andrewsportsmedicine.com today to begin your journey of achieving victory over injury. Okay. Trent has been patient on hold. Want to let him chime in on college football. You're on the Higginbotham Hotline, Trent.
Hey. Well, first of all, it's Trey, so I think John may have gotten that wrong. So not trying to throw Johnson some shade, but it is Trey. And I also hate to be the guy to kind of bring something up after it's been talked about, but just due to the wait time, I do have kind of a twofold question here. I think that y'all two are the best of the best. So I was going to get your thoughts on this. But the first part of the question would be, I guess, more so for Greg. Greg, what exactly do you think is I'll say issues with this current Alabama offense? I don't really think you can point to one thing because I think everything that we're seeing kind of plays hand in hand. And then to build off of that, I think there's a lot of people out there that are trying to point back to the DeBoer offense from like 2 to 3 years ago. They keep trying to use that as a metric of like, okay, this is what the Alabama offense is going to look like. So my question is that something that we can really look to as fans, or is it more of a case of like, hey, whenever he was at Washington, he had some dudes like, three top 3 round picks and then a first round QB too. So I'm like, is that something that we can really look to on where this Alabama offense is trying to get to, or is it just kind of a piece of the puzzle of like, hey, that's the guys that they had, so that's the kind of offense that they ran. So I hope that makes sense, and I hope that those two questions can kind of build off of each other. But I was just going to I was going to get your thoughts on that. I know it's a bit after the segment when I first talked about all of the issues with the current Alabama offense, though.
Well, good call. First issue, I think, is that you're one-dimensional. That's a tough place to start. Would you not agree, Cole?
Yeah.
That's a tough place to start. The offensive line isn't getting nearly enough push in the run game.
Or any. Not a lot are this day and age.
Push helps.
Yeah, on occasion.
Or so I've heard.
Also helps to go to the right guy. Also helps to know which guy to go to.
Correct. So I also think, look, everyone shares blame in this. Okay. One, I think the offensive line's put at a slight disadvantage sometimes too with how much checking, audibling they're doing before the play. Because they're in their stance for how long? And what do we know about offensive linemen? Yes, they're overweight. Yes, getting in a stance. Go sit there at 360 pounds in some cases. Sit in a 2-point stance for 30 seconds. Tell me how you feel.
Not fun.
Cole, you're the closest to 360. Why don't you do it right now and just...
I disagree with that.
Tell me.
Actually.
But in all seriousness,
we talked about center quarterback exchange. Why in the beginning of practice, why it's always miserable is because we're sitting there in the stance and the quarterbacks and the quarterback coach, the offensive coordinator, start talking about their golf games or
that's not
breaking
true.
up with his girlfriend.
That's such a farce.
Where they went last night.
Why are you lying?
Have you been over there to Joey's Steakhouse? Oh man, I'm filet so
Have you
good.
been over there? That place on the other side of the river is
I
nice.
birdied 18 yesterday. You should have seen my drive on there, boy.
Yeah, because that's what we're talking about during the season. Hey, Mac, what'd you do on 7 yesterday? Now the
Don't
players
act like y'all are
now the
grinding
players are
on
talking.
tape and talking about this corner's playing this. Not in center quarterback exchange. Y'all are screwing around the whole time.
So I think that does have a factor. I do think their style of offense in an effort to get to the perfect play does put their offensive line at a slight disadvantage. Doesn't change the fact that they have offensive linemen that should get better push, should play with better leverage, and should play with better feet and better assignment. That's one. Number two, they don't have great juice at running back. I mean, what do great running backs do? They can sometimes make guys right. Go watch. You put Jeremiah Love in the backfield against for Alabama. And that's a unique. That's a
It'd
unicorn.
probably be pretty better.
It's
Yeah.
a unicorn, right? But like they're probably going to be a little better.
Put Kewan Lacey back there.
Put any of the top. I mean, Keon Lacey's a Doak Walker finalist. Like you,
Hell, put 23 from Auburn back there. I bet they'd be a better run team.
No,
that kid will get downhill.
he's in the portal. Ooh, we'll get him.
I think half the team.
All right, whatever. All right. So what I'm getting at though is that I think there's not quite enough juice at running back. I think Jam's a good back. I think Jam tries to be a little perfect from time to time. I think that kind of hurts him. He dances behind the line of scrimmage a little too often as opposed to just getting the dirty yards. Number 3, I do think that your receivers are your best weapons. So anytime you drop back to pass on just a analytical standpoint, analytics probably tell you passing is going to give you more of an advantage given where the strength of your personnel is. Your quarterback's one of your best players. Taking the ball out of his hands is not really the best thing for you.
No.
So you're one-dimensional, that hurts. 2, guys, this is not an excuse. It's not an excuse at all. Tell me in the last handful of games where you've played a defense that actually would allow a lot of movement. I'm talking all the way back to the South Carolina game, y'all. Like, this has been an absolute, and you can tell me how bad South Carolina is. You can tell me all that. South Carolina is pretty dang sporty in the front. No?
Yeah, you know who else is really good? Their defensive coordinator.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a good defense. Like, whether you want to acknowledge that or not, it's a
Well,
good
they only
defense.
have a top 10 pick on one side, so
Top 10?
5 maybe.
Under.
3?
Yeah, that feels right, depending on what quarterbacks are available that year. LSU, how are they on defense?
Sporty.
Oklahoma, how are they on defense?
I remember when everybody laughed at me at the beginning of the season when I said they had the best D-line in the SEC, and I haven't heard those echoed here late in the year.
Auburn, how are they on defense?
Pretty good year.
Georgia, how are they on defense?
Really good.
You know, it'd be nice. Goodness gracious alive. You know, it'd be great if we could can we play Pitt in November?
Actually, that D-line's not bad.
No, they can get after you. That's maybe a bad example. You know, it'd be nice. It'd be nice if we could play Stanford. Throw Stanford out there for us, please. Just give me one game
You better.
where I can get into a bit of a rhythm. Like, give me one game where I can just feel a little bit like the world's not collapsing around me. Just one.
Like, just exhale for a minute.
Just let me exhale for 1 minute. Because the last time this offense has been able to kind of, quote, exhale was against Tennessee. And Tennessee's got dudes on defense. Like, they have been running, y'all.
Byron Eason is in the backfield all the time.
It's been a beast. It's been a really tough stretch of really good defenses, and that is not an excuse. But to say here, guys, and what has honestly, there's a next layer of this question. How is Alabama's defense right now?
Better than it was earlier in the year. They've gotten better.
Why'd they lose the game against Oklahoma?
Good field position, turnovers, special teams.
Yes. What
One kicker balled. One didn't.
What contributed heavily to
One complained.
What contributed heavily towards the Georgia game? Field position, right?
Yes.
3 drives started on their side of the 50. Like, the defense playing good ball. So you know what the mandate for the offense has probably been? Guys, let's not screw it up like we did against Oklahoma. Just get it to the finish line. Let us have more points than the opposition. Let's not. Every drive that ends with a punt is probably a pretty good drive for us. Every drive that ends in a field goal, pretty good drive for us. Every drive that ends in a touchdown, that's a great drive for us, right? But let's not get too aggressive to where we make a critical mistake and give an offense that's frankly not that great, like in Auburn, like in Oklahoma. Let's not make a mistake and give them life, like in LSU. They've been kind of pulling it back a little bit because, guys, we just got to win. Like, let's just get to the finish line of this game, this 60-minute ball game. Let's get to the finish line with more points than the opposition. Like, they haven't been super aggressive. It's been a slightly more conservative plan. I happen to think that's going to reverse against Oklahoma. I happen to think you're going to see a more aggressive group because, hey, you're in the dance now. Like, this team has played very tight for the better part of 5 or 6 weeks. You know, the last time I saw them play not tight? Vandy? Maybe. The last time I saw them play like, all right, boys, let's go into attack mode here. When was the last time? Tennessee? Like, we're taking the fight to them.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. Now they're in the dance. They got nothing to lose. They made it. They accomplished the preseason goal. Guys, we made it to the playoff. It's a good year. We can all feel great about what we've accomplished this year. Let's just let it rip now. I think you're going to see a better offense.
But I also think
a week from Friday.
You mentioned something there in that answer that people are forgetting, and it's what I talked about essentially that Dan Wetzel brought up in his article that's on ESPN.com right now. Is, we went from a format that almost found ways to keep undefeated teams from competing for a national title, and we are now arguing for 10-2 and 9-3 teams to get in. Essentially what I'm saying is you're in. How many people have called our show this week, tweeted our show this week, texted our show this week, discussing their excitement for Alabama football being in the damn playoff? I haven't seen one. Y'all seen one? Y'all heard one. How many people walking around town have been like, playoff, baby? I haven't heard them. Have you?
Nope.
I know Auburn fans would like to be in the playoff. I bet Tennessee fans would like to be in the playoff. I bet LSU fans would like to be in the – well, they feel like they already won. So
LSU did?
Yeah, they got Lane, so they're winners. But Mississippi State fans like to be in the playoff. I think Notre Dame fans would like to be in the playoff, although part of me feels like they enjoy where they are right now, being able to do what they do, pointing their finger and laughing at college football even more. But just saying, you're in. Now let's see where the chips fall.
Let it rip.
You push all your chips to the middle of the table and say, here we go.
No one's expecting anything of Alabama.
Put it all on black.
You know the last time
or
this
red.
team had literally nothing to lose and just said, forget
ULM?
it. Forget it. Let's let it rip. You know the last time?
I just told you.
Georgia. That was the last time.
Maybe, yeah.
That was the last time where it's like, no one expects us to win. No one expects us to do anything. No one likes us. My own diehard, guy stood at my wedding in our group message that was texting everybody, Georgia for the limit tonight. He's a diehard Bama fan. That was the last time I think this team was like, screw it, we'll show everybody. Why would that not come to fruition a week from Friday? Like I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything. You feel how you want to feel. I can tell you what I would not want to be. I would not want to be on the side that would doubt Kalen DeBoer in this situation. I would not want to be on the side that would doubt Ryan Grubb in this situation. I would not want to be on the side that would doubt Ty Simpson in this situation, because I have already seen them respond to tremendous adversity earlier in the year. You know who I wouldn't want to be? The team that's getting hunted by Alabama. And while they are a favorite.
Well, that team is limping right now, just so you know. Like, that's a deer
Oklahoma,
with a broken leg in the
go
woods.
get it. But guess
and you're
what?
treating Alabama a little bit like Stuart Smalley here. Like, nobody likes me,
They shouldn't be here. We don't belong. All right, cool. Win this one next Friday. Find a way not to screw it up like you did the last time in the game in which you threw for 400 you had 400 yards of total offense and almost outgained Oklahoma 2-1. They had 212 yards of offense in that game. You almost outgained them 2-1. You had 406. So go and win this game on Friday next week. And then guess what? Throw the kitchen sink at Indiana, who has never been in this situation before. Ever. Never. In the history of their program, they've never been in this situation before. I like the chances. I remember that feeling when no one gave us a shot against Florida in 2009 SEC championship game. It was a really comfortable feeling because guess what? No one thinks we're going to do anything anyways. Let's just go let it rip. And guess what? By golly, we did. And it was ugly for the Gators that day because they didn't know how to handle it. They'd never been punched. They never had the target. So you somehow find a way to win this one next week. Then you're the underdog. No one expects you to do anything anyways. You're in the top 8 already. Maybe you pull off a miracle. Now you're in the semis. And you might play Texas Tech, who's never been there before. You might play Oregon, who has not been thin air like this before. Not in a long time. I mean, who knows? You pull one off there. Where's that game being played again? Oh my gosh, Atlanta. Isn't that weird? Wow. I mean, is this like some insurmountable task sitting in front of the Tide here? I'm not saying it's going to be easy. It's going to be freaking hard. It's going to be really hard. It's going to be awesome. That's what you want. All you want's a chance. And you got a chance next Friday. Go take care of business and go find a way to win and then go throw a punch.
All right, we have some interesting feedback coming in on Alabama. Some with you, some against you, as you might expect. Before we discuss it, tell our listeners about Shannara Flooring.
Well, Foo and his guys have stockpiled inventory, 50,000 square feet of it. And because of the amount of inventory of Core-Tech flooring that they've stockpiled, they're passing some savings on to you. That Core-Tech is beautiful. It's durable. It's pet-proof, kid-proof, waterproof. It's got the 20 mil wear layer, so it's extremely, extremely durable. And you can get it right now for savings of 20 to 40%. That's why you want to go to Foo right now and go to fooandyou.com, because at the end of the year, who knows what the deals are going to look like. Might not be as good as you're going to get here at year end. So remember Shannara Flooring. When you want Core-Tech, call who? Call Foo. Call Shannara Flooring at 205-518-6423 or go online at fooandyou.com.
All right, when we come back, we will make fun of college administrators and get to your feedback on Greg's comments on Alabama football next on Jocks. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning, 9:43, Wednesday, December 10th, right here on Jocks. I'm going to do this quickly, and we'll come back to Alabama just because I've teased it like 7 times. A little bit of back and forth between college sports administrators over the last 48 hours. First, Notre Dame athletic director Pete Pavakwa on how surprised they were Sunday with a little additive at the end that you need to pay close attention to.
No secret. We were shocked, I would say mystified by what happened on Sunday. We felt we did everything we could over the course of the season. You know, we lost our first 2 games. We're not hiding from that. We lost against a really good Miami team. We lost a nail-biter against Texas A&M, 2 great teams by a total of 4 points. And then we did everything we needed to do. We had one of the most dominant 10 games runs in the history of college football. And on top of that, we felt that the CFP committee, the ranking committee, felt the same way.
Is there a way to play that middle part again of the run they just went on? How would he describe that?
Goat.
We had one of the most dominant 10 games runs in the history of college football.
You beat Purdue, Arkansas, Boise, NC State, USC, Boston College, Navy, Pitt, Syracuse, and Stanford.
Well, you heard the guy yesterday.
Hold on, by my count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those teams in that immaculate 10-game run are not going to be competing in a bowl game. And by the way, not teams that quit on their bowls either, like didn't qualify.
Arkansas was legit. Don't you hate?
On offense.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard these
Not for
Arkansas
real.
fans talking about how they're good their offensive line should be considered because of how well they run the ball?
Yeah, I know. Whatever. No, I don't have to deal with that as much. I only deal with people that think we should bench our quarterback and everybody should get fired. That's all I deal with.
We're getting to that.
But
most dominant 10-game stretches in the history of college football.
well, we did have a guy on the show yesterday whom I respect, by the way. I actually really like him and I've watched his stuff many times with all the Notre Dame games we've done in the past. But he did tell me that Navy is better than Tennessee.
It was 2 days ago, but yeah.
Gosh, it feels like yesterday.
It's okay.
Told me that Navy's better than Missouri. Gotcha.
Okay, this is also Pete Bavakwa on what the ACC has done to Notre Dame.
Why did you still feel like you guys were being targeted throughout that period of time?
Well, we were definitely being targeted. And for better or for worse, we have a different relationship with the ACC than any other team in college football other than the teams that are in the ACC. Because we're in the ACC for 24 sports. We have a scheduling agreement with the ACC. And again, the ACC does wonderful things for Notre Dame, but we bring tremendous football value to the ACC. And we didn't understand why you would go out of your way to try to damage us in this process.
Is Greg at that press conference?
Me?
Yes.
Yes. I said because
Sounded
the typing.
like it, yes.
Big
No,
type guy.
Apparently it was a mice eating cheese.
Whoever it was. Do they put those mics like right next to their keyboards when they're at these press conferences like that?
I don't know.
Is there not a podium to put it on and get the laptop away from
That
it?
was the
I'm a hard typer too. I can't hate.
official Notre Dame one.
We
There's
know.
some that I understand. Okay, yeah, the reporter puts their tape recording device or whatever up there. Okay, yeah, I get that when you hear the. But this was from the official Notre Dame one. Like that's on them. This is stuff like this is why you deserve to be left out the playoff.
No.
While pointing fingers at a conference, of which I would say being able to schedule with strength has absolutely helped you. And proclaiming the most dominant 10-game stretch in conference history,
Slight reach.
Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark decided to chime in on Pete's behavior.
I will say this, and I'm a little outspoken about it. I don't like how Notre Dame's reacted to it. I think his behavior has been egregious. It's been egregious going after Jim Phillips when they saved Notre Dame during COVID. We all knew.
Brett pulled that one out of the bag.
Hunter was very transparent about it.
They did, though.
The
Body
chair,
blow.
that as Notre Dame and Miami got closer together, head-to-head would be a factor. Okay? BYU lost. They became closer together, head-to-head made a difference in that decision. So I think he is totally out of bounds in his approach, and if he was in the room, I'd tell him the same thing.
Why do I keep liking Brett Yormark more and more?
Brett Yormark's the man. And so is Pete, by the way. I love Pete. I really like the guy. The guy's in a kind of a difficult spot. I mean, I don't really know.
I did think it was interesting. I did
to-
think it was interesting what Wetzel said about he's taking bullets for the head coach.
Maybe.
Because I would argue that he's actually taking hand grenades.
Well,
if this is how you're going to go about it, like he's stepping in front of rocket launchers.
Who does Pete Bavacqua answer to?
The Pope?
Touchdown Jesus?
Loosely. Okay, but who does he
I
answer
don't know the
to?
hierarchy of
He
Notre
answers
Dame.
to the fans at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Like if he were in a conference, for example, and I'm not suggesting they join, this wouldn't be happening.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? Because he would have to answer to the commissioner. He answers to his president and to his fans. So it's understandable that he's going to cry foul. I don't blame him for doing what he's doing at all. But there's no.
It can be delivered in a very different way.
I don't disagree with that. I don't think you need to go after the. What would you do if you were the ACC? You would 100% go full court press on trying to get Miami and Duke in. That is their job. Like, of course you would. The commissioner is trying to help his football playing members.
Yeah, imagine what all the other ACC football member athletic directors would be saying right now if it would have been opposite, and they'd have been pushing for Notre Dame to get in.
Yeah, they wouldn't.
The lawsuit Florida State and Clemson been working on would have been on fast forward. Okay, we have one more for you, and we'll get to it after the break. When referencing administrators in college football just saying things. First, I'll tell you about Gusty Goulas and the Gusty Goulas Group. They just do things like get you into a new home or get your home sold. They've helped family members of mine that can help you. They've served more than 3,000 home buyers and sellers in the greater Birmingham area. Recognized both nationally and locally as Greater Birmingham, Alabama's #1 team in homes sold, Gusty Goulas Group wants to help you. Over 855-star Google reviews. So Google Gusty Goulas Group today. See what they can do for you. See what they've done for others. 205-542-1996 or go to GustyGoulasGroup.com today and start packing. One more quote from an administrator around college athletics and bad box scores of the day next on Jocks. No, he didn't. We watched that game, and that did not happen. 9:54 Wednesday, December 10th, right here on Jocks. Greg, tell our listeners about Family Care Dental.
Well, Family Care Dental is the urgent care office you can be seen the same day in several locations to make it easy on you in Hoover, Fultondale, Homewood, Alabaster, and Trustful. It's the end of the year, so make sure you don't let those dental benefits expire. Time to get in, and you can schedule an appointment today at Family Care Dental by calling 874-9605. That's 874-9605.
LSU women beat New Orleans 126-62. First team in SEC history to score 100 or more points in 9 of their first 10 games of a season. Texas women beat Prairie View 101-42. 10-0 start for the second time under Vic Schaefer. 32nd straight home win for Texas Lady Longhorns. Those would be your bad box scores of the day. Prairie View, 0 for 37 all time against AP-ranked opponents. New Orleans, 0 for 29 all time against AP-ranked opponents.
Whew.
Those are your bad box scores of the day. Play the lady from Baylor on why they're not going to a bowl game, please.
Yeah, as Doug said, as we evaluated that situation, we felt like given the season that we had that was disappointing for all of us, the better use of our time and energy over the next 2 or 3 weeks was to focus on next year and to prepare for the portal and to make sure that we were ready for the portal and what we had to do to be there. If you played in that bowl game, which we frankly didn't earn the right to play in a bowl game given our schedule or our outcome, it was going to take all of our time and energy to do that. And then we would be behind going into the portal. And you saw a lot of 5 and 7 teams turn down the opportunity to play in bowls for the very, very same reason that we did. And so the financial piece, we would have lost money going to that particular bowl.
Oh, boy.
That wasn't really a factor in the decision that we made. We kind of put the financial piece of it to the side. It was really more about where should our time and energy be spent that was going to position us absolutely the best, have the best opportunity to have.
We should hire Eric Crocker to move her out of that press conference.
Yeah. It's a local company owned by an Iraq War veteran. Eric Crocker. Crocker believes in hiring movers you can trust to complete full background checks and run drug tests on every single employee. These are good guys. You can trust them in your home. Leave your whole home packed to move, your company headquarters moved across country, or you just want them to come rearrange your living room. These guys got you covered. They also do deliveries for furniture that you've purchased need to get to your home. So call or visit them online today for a free quote. The website's CrockerMovingServices.com. It's CrockerMovingServices.com. Support your veterans by choosing Crocker Moving Service for your next move.
You're losing money on 47 other sports, but you're worried about losing money going to one bowl game. Makes perfect sense. 3-man front will explain it to you next.